Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, outstanding. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm super excited to be on here, but one thing you guys got to realize is the young lady that is hosting this call and is teaching you, coaching you, and mentoring you in this opportunity is one of the best there is. So the time that she commits to making every single person better means a lot. It means a lot to me because I know the sacrifices that she has always done to help other people. That's why I don't mind helping Miss Devon out anytime she asks me. So that's that relationship we have. We've had a lot of heart to heart conversations for a long time since we've been in this opportunity, and one of the things that you guys see in the background, that giraffe back there, it's got a veteran tag on it, but that giraffe's name is Destiny. All right. So the reason that giraffe's name is Destiny, the question is, what's your destiny? All right. And I tell everybody, you need to have a giraffe. And when people say, what does that mean? That giraffe stands for my goals, desires, dreams, and people that told me I cannot do something. Because somebody will tell you, you can't have a giraffe. What? That doesn't make sense. That's just crazy. And you may not think that this is part of that giraffe is healthcare training right there, one-on-one. Because when we get out of our own way and we really understand what it is that we want to accomplish, nobody can stop you from doing it. And nobody can ever stop me from having my giraffe called Destiny. And so the question is, what's your destiny going to be in 2024? So being a part of this training on a Friday night, which everybody has something else they would much rather be doing, but being a part of this training on a Friday night to learn more about a service that is going to be bigger than anything that ACN has ever had. Now, I've been in ACN for 11 years, ladies and gentlemen, have a lot of customers, but the potential to grow your business in an exponential growth in a very short period of time with a service called Impact Health Sharing is phenomenal. Now, I know every person on this call knows what impact is. But here's the thing, here's the challenge. Every person on this call, when you're talking to someone, also says, I've never heard of it. What is it? How can it exist if I've never heard of it? There are a lot of things in life that exist that people have never heard of, but it's never stopped them before. So when you change your belief and you really understand what you have your hands on, impact can take your business so much farther than anything else. So if Miss Richardson gives me an opportunity, I don't know if I'm able to share my screen. Okay, perfect. All right, so let me share my screen. I'm gonna pull my slide deck up here. I don't want to use a lot of slides, but I am going to use slides because they're the background for what it is we need to do. I was going to play a video. I'm not going to play a video because I really want to leave some time for questions and answers. All right, I want to leave some time for, I want you guys thinking now about what has been your hardest thing to deal with while you're going through and trying to acquire impact customers? What are the things that have stopped you? What are the things that you're afraid of when it comes to having a conversation with people about impact? All right. So this is a video. I'm not going to share the video, but the question I got on the call is, how many people on this call have impact? How many of you guys are impact customers? All right. And if you do have it, do you utilize your own back office for what you need to? Now we talk about the normal customer sources and everything else. And I tell everybody the number one customer source for impact is you. Don't worry about anything else right now, but you have got to use the service. One of the things we've always talked about in Coalition and ACN is personal use of services. This is the one service. If you want people to understand it, you have got to get it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's no contract. Some of us say, well, my job offers me insurance. Well, did you know in some cases your job will pay you not to take that insurance from them? And that payment that they give you not to take the insurance, I guarantee you is more than enough for you to have your own impact policy or your impact customer be yourself. So find a way for you to support yourself. And I don't care if you have to take the PRA to the highest piece, just get the service so you get the dashboard so you can really understand and show people. We used to teach people about Vivint, and we'd say the best way to do it is to pull it up on your phone. I will tell you the best way for people to understand impact health sharing is to pull it up on your phone, is to log in, is to show them the prescription pricing, is to show them that there's no network, is to show them how the 24/7 telehealth works. I have used every single piece of impact and I know exactly how it works, not because I needed it. So let me paint a picture. Guys, I'm a retired vet, I'm a retired lieutenant colonel from the military, as Mr. Vaughn Richardson said. I have TRICARE for life. My health care is taken care of for the rest of my life. It's not the best health care, but it's health care. I also I'm a disabled vet, so I have the VA. And you guys have probably heard stories about the VA. And if there are any vets on here, you understand that the VA ain't the best in the world either. All right. So those are those doctors that they get that couldn't make it somewhere else. They go to the VA to help the vets. All right. So I'm just painting that picture. And then I have Impact. So I have three different healthcare providers that I have at my disposal. I will tell you right now, if Pat ever got diagnosed with cancer today, I would not go to TRICARE and I would not go to the VA. I would find the best cancer doctor in the nation and utilize my Impact uh, service to take care of me because there's only one of me and I want to be around as long as possible. So I'm not going to roll the dice with TRICARE and the military healthcare system. I think it was great. It took care of me for a long time, but I'm not going to roll my dice in my future years just to see if it still works. All right. Does that make sense, everybody? I really need everyone to make that. That has to make sense because if that part does not resonate with you, then you really got to have a cold, hard conversation with yourself. And my mentor has always said in the military is if the problem is in the mirror, you can't see it. You got to do a self-assessment on you to see how you can be supportive of yourself first. And that's the number one thing. So when you look at it, we always talk about the target audience. And I kind of want this to be as interactive as we can. And Ms. Richardson, that's up to you how you want to do this. But I tell people that Impact is for everyone. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky because the trainer will say Impact is not for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, every bit of training that I have for Impact, and I don't care whether you're a diabetic, I don't care whether you've had cancer, I don't care. I think Impact is for every single person anyway. One, because this thing called reference-based pricing. See, this is the only company that I know is going to fight for you to get you paying the lowest cost anyway. Even if you had to pay out of pocket, they're trying to reduce it to the lowest cost. Your insurance company will deny a claim before they help you reduce the cost. That's a fact. And if you look at the nationwide network, and that video that I was going to show was talking about how healthcare companies are using AI to deny claims. There are so many. The insurance industry made $4.4 billion in a quarter. We're not for profit. We don't care about making money. We care about taking care of people. So, what's your passion when you're talking about people? And how do you build value in what we have? Just think about that. How can you build that value? You've got to be passionate about this service. Just yesterday, I was at an event with Mr. Presley Swaggerty. And for those you don't know who Presley Swaggerty is, he's the one and only Senior Vice President Platinum. So he does a lunch meeting every single Thursday in Waco, Texas. So I'm not a part of his organization, but I attend that because I'm actually building a team up in the Waco market as well. And we've become very close friends because of me going and sitting talking with him. And here's what the one thing that he said in the meeting yesterday. He's made millions of dollars in network marketing. And he said 50 million for an exact number, and I'll share it with you. He's made millions of dollars before Impact came along. And he said his success in network marketing will pale in comparison to what's going to happen in the next 3 years. What you guys think about that? He's been in network marketing for almost 30 years. In 30 years, he's made over $50 million. And he said those 30 years of $50 million will pale in comparison because of one service that he now has at his disposal. Here's a question. Why? Why does he say that? What you guys think about that? Why does he say that? And the cold hard fact is we know people that don't want to pay for insurance. The cold hard fact is most of the people in his network are tired of paying high premiums, where we're finding people that don't want to pay for anything anyway. So we've got to shift that dynamic. We've got to have different level of conversations with different people, with people that are business minded. And I will tell you, even though the target audience and the customer pool is every single person, I will tell you when you start talking to business owners and you start telling people about evaluating their life. See, We say, are you open to evaluating your healthcare needs? Here, are you open to evaluating your quality of life? Are you open to making sure that you're taken care of with all the things that are going on? The pandemic will never end. That's a fact. It's funny that, they talk about the new strain of COVID that's coming out. Guys, there will be a new strain of COVID for the rest of our lives. There's been a new strain of flu forever. COVID's the same way. It's never going to go anywhere. So the thing is, why not be a part of something that is there to make sure that your quality of life is taken care of? Because here's what I guarantee you. I guarantee you the nation is not going to be sending bailouts to people anymore. Matter of fact, they're trying to recoup a lot of that money that they sent out for the stimulus across the board. They're trying to make sure that they get some of that money back so that they can sustain whatever it is we need to sustain. People are now having to pay for certain things. So the days of having the free stuff from the government right now are getting far and few between. So it's going away. So think about having a conversation with people is, do you really want to have a quality health care? Do you really want to have a better quality of life? When was the last time you went to a doctor and had an annual exam? I talked to a young lady. She said, I can't afford it. She said, I have insurance through my job, but I tell my kids, they just got to suck it up. How many people you know in that situation? And I said, well, why is that? Well, my job is taking $300 out of my check. And if I add my kids to that, it's going to cost even more. And they're talking about over $1,000 for me to take care of my family. I'm the one making the money. So I got to stay healthy. They'll be okay. What's wrong with that thought? Look, can somebody please tell me what's wrong with that picture? What's wrong with that thought process? So, what conversation would you have with that young lady that has that family that really needs to take care of it? Because if I can put that $300 back into her paycheck, again, that's sunken costs. That money was already spent, right? And if she opts out of it, her job is probably going to give her $200 to $300 anyway. And when a job gives her $200 to $300 back anyway, that's technically $600 she has to get health care. It costs $456 with impact for the whole family at 2,500 PRA. Who won? Technically, she made money. But we've got to be able to explain it in a way that they understand it. How many people did I lose on this call having that conversation? See, guys, you really got to be a professional problem solver when it comes down to talking to it, because that's the target audience we are. They have problems and we have the solution. You just got to understand how to write the equation so that they can see value in the solution that we're giving them. And then when it comes to business owners, I tell my business owners this: would you be interested in looking at other options, cut your employees' healthcare costs if they're already paying for it? I met a business owner today. I'm actually going to help a tax accountant. She has 6 employees, cannot afford to pay for their health care. They're all individually paying for their health care. On average, they're not even taking care of their families. They're paying $750 a piece for the minimum essential coverage. I just talked to the owner of the company today. It's great we're having this call today because I'm bringing real life conversations, because their companies, even though open enrollment was over, people still don't have coverage right now. There are people right now in January that have no coverage. So going by having this conversation with this accountant who I've known for a long time, and I said, you know what? I need to talk to Tamara. I need to find out what she's got going on with her employees. And when I did that, I found out she wants to offer healthcare but can't. So we're putting a package together even for her. She said, well, Pat, if it's only going to cost me $1,500, $2,000 to take care of my 4 or 5 employees, I'll be happy to pay that out of pocket and they can keep their money. What just happened? One, and this is where business owners come in, it's not options to cut employees' healthcare costs, it's options to retain quality employees. Can we agree, if I'm an accountant and I'm running a tax firm, that the people that are filing taxes on my behalf under my CPA license need to know what they're doing? They need to be experienced enough to know. So if Mr. Vaughn Richardson's firm is offering health care and I'm not, am I at risk of losing Miss Selena Johnson? Absolutely. Because if I can make, I tell people, people will take a little bit of a pay cut to be able to take care of their families better. Because losing $150 out of my paycheck, but gaining health care is worth it. Can we agree? But we got to start thinking and having those conversations differently with people. So I tell my business owners not only this part, but the critical piece is Miss Selena Johnson is running your business for you. What would it cost you to lose her? Because you can't provide health care. It changes the dynamic of the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, because nobody ever thinks about losing an employee because they can't provide healthcare or not providing it. In some way, form, or fashion, over the last 6 months, people have kind of been wishing healthcare away. They want it. They know they can't afford it through the marketplace. So they've kind of been wishing it away in the hopes of that their employees will be okay. People ain't okay with it anymore. People are looking for other jobs that are providing them a benefit. So we have one of the critical benefits packages that you can think of when it comes to healthcare. And that's what I want you guys to understand. So would you like to offer it? Or what would you want to offer? Or do you want to do anything? If I can show you an affordable way to offer it, would you be open? Every single business owner I talked about said yes. Every single one of them. So, how many people on this call were on my training with Coalition back November's time frame? I did the same training back in November. Now, though for those that were on the call, how many of you set your account up to be able to do group quotes? How many people set their fake business up? See, that's why this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. If you did not set that up, I'm telling you, the how can I say this in a very good way? The system that we have in place is very, very, very simple. Now, I will tell you, it doesn't get any better. So I'm going to stop my share because I want to open up my website because I want to show you guys something. So the system that we have is very, very, very simple. You guys can get to see some other things. So I was messing around, playing around with some Lubbock Power and Light too. So, Lubbock deregulated and we opened that up today. So I was actually working on some things with Lubbock. So I want you guys to understand. Let me move this toolbar out of the way. But I want you guys to understand the power of getting an email from Impact. Can everybody see this? See my screen here? That says, let's get your group some pricing. All right. I think I went through this before. And when I click on that, see my group pricing, it's going to open up my portal and go in my back office. And can you guys see how many different quotes that I have done for businesses? People say, well, Pat, why are you doing the quotes in your portal? Because it's easy. And I don't have to wait on a business owner to give me they call it the audit information or their census information for the employees. How many employees do you have and what's the average age? That's all I ask for. Oh, I got 15 employees, average age. It ranges anywhere from 21 to 63. I'll just take and create a fake quote so they can see the value of what this is. So, and I'll just name it and I'll just put it in there and it lists it out and I'll stick some names in there and show them what it would cost. 49 members, 15 grand. Very simple. You can do it just like that. It will turn it over just like that. So from big businesses to small business, and look, all these names are fake. They're just random names that I just grabbed and threw on a spreadsheet and plugged it in. They're just random birth dates that I just grabbed and created. What I'm telling you is, if I'm talking to Miss Selena Johnson and she says, well, Pat, I have a business. I want to offer healthcare. I have 10 employees. They range from 20 to 40 years old. I will take and do 20 people at different ages and stick them in there, or 10 people at different ages and stick them in there to say, What if you could pay this? Would you be open to that? And when most people see it's only like $2,000, $3,000 a month for 10 people to have health care, it as a business owner, and that 2 grand is going to help me keep people employed, they now can afford it. Because the average cost for one person in the marketplace is $2,500. Blue Cross Blue Shield, $2,500 per person. Business owner paying $10,750 a month for 4 employees is now paying $2,100 a month with us. And he's doing the employees and their families. All right. So this is why I say go on and create you a separate Gmail account. I named mine PGE Consulting. That's my initials of my name. So I made me a consulting business. I've talked to Lendria Wynn 17 different times because every time I do this, she sends me an email. So now she knows what I'm doing, but she's happy with it because she understands it. And what I'm trying to do is create something so that you don't have to go create this so that you get access to the portal. I'm trying to have Impact give every IBO access to the portal so that they can create the quotes without going in and putting the business in. But Lendria is the one person. But here's what I know about that. She calls and educates the business owners on the process and how it works. That's also why you need to do that. Now, I didn't have to take a phone call or set a phone call up, but I needed to do that so I understood when I was closing those accounts what was going to happen. And I told her why I was doing it, and she was happy with it because I just made her job a lot easier. But you guys understand that? So if you start doing this, you can actually make a lot of things easy on yourself, and they're self-explanatory. All right. So I'm gonna stop my share again because I'm gonna go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So when you're doing this with the group and you set up your basic information, all you need is names and birthdays of employees. And again, just create some random birthdays. This is the sheet that you get when you're logging in and create that. So they actually have a sheet that you can import that information into the system with. Very simple, very easy to do. You just randomly put the name, say whether I put everybody for not spoken, date of birth, and notice this sheet has three, remember 3 or more, it's the same price. And once they do that, they set their account up, they get an email, they set the PIN number up. You'll do that same thing. Here are the 4 employees that were set up at over $10,000. Here's Impact's setup, $2,400. One of their employees will turn 65 in July, and it actually goes down to $1,900. They already started. Their stuff went into effect 1 January this year. Lendria closed that account. I have another account with 7 employees on it that are fixing to do their family, because when I showed them how they could save $8,000 a month on what they were already paying, and I said they'll save $4,000 a month by adding the employee, but the families, they were still happy with saving the $48,000 a year. Because now, do you know those 7 key employees are not going anywhere because their families are taken care of? Because one of the things that they were worried about this year was turnover, because they didn't think that the employee, and here's the deal, that was a 65-35 split. So 35% of the healthcare cost was coming out of the employee's paycheck. So what just happened with them paying 100% now? Every employee just got a pay raise. Every single employee in that window just got a pay raise because the business owner said, I was already paying more than that just to pay my share. So I'm happy with saving money, and there's no need for them to pay anything outside of their PRA. This gentleman here, because he's saving so much money, he's going to pay the first 2,500 medical bills for his employees. That's only another $10,000 on top of the $90,000 that he was saving. You guys see this? He was saving $93,000. He says, well, Pat, I'll just pay the extra $10,000 to take care of their whole family for their first 2,500 medical care, and they can take care of the rest. So now it's even cheaper for the employees. You guys see what I'm saying? But you see what we were able to offer this this business owner, because he really wants to keep his people because they're specialists in their field. This is a construction company that builds multi-million-dollar projects, and all these people are certified to do that. What will he lose if he loses them? Now he doesn't have to worry about that. They're not going anywhere because they have no cost to worry about. So these are the little things that we have to do. Here is the business for the 7 employees that we're talking about. Again, we went from $9,000, they were saving $7,000 a month, to $2,000, and it's a sliding scale piece. So 77% savings. I just updated this quote today because they're going to add the families to it, and it went to $4,000 when we add the families. So they're still saving over $60,000 a year. You guys see? So we have a lot of wiggle room inside of Impact. But I wouldn't be able to show them this because here's what I know for a fact. Even though the businesses can go into the portal and do exactly what I did, isn't it a lot easier for me doing it than just giving it to them? We don't have to. ACN says, Pat, you don't have to do that. That's why we created the system. I know, but I also know business owners are too busy to go do what I just did. So if I can package it up, lay it out, give it to them, it's a win-win. Ms. Rashad, yes, sir.
So I know you been training on this before, but I wanted to ask about that portal. Is that like personalized for your account with a Impact?
So that portal is specialized when you put your quote in. All right. So here's what happened. Let me go back to the website here real quick. And I'm going to show everybody how this works. So when you go back and you put your first, let's see, let me go back to my, here we go. Let me just go here real quick. When you go into the Impact Health Share and you go on the business side, and you click healthcare and you say shop now. When you put the business owner's information here, when you punch this in and you put that email and phone number, so this is how each and every one of us will create your portal. My company's name is PGE Consulting. Pat Everett, my email is pgeconsulting@gmail.com. I put my phone number in, of course, my IBO number there. I hit submit, get quote. As soon as I hit get quote, it sent me this email as the business owner. As soon as I hit get quote, I logged into that Gmail account that I had just created and I got this email. And when I click this email, it says see my group pricing. The first time you click on that link, it's going to ask you to create a PIN number. My PIN number for my group is 1234. I punched in 1234. It opened it up and it says click here to get started. And that's exactly what I did, Rashad. You click there and you start listing names and tell it what you want. And then you say get quote. And you can name that quote whatever you want to. That's why you see all those random names in that list. Just name the quote, put as many number of people you want to, hit get quote, and it's done. So when you click download template, that's that Excel spreadsheet that you can type the names in. So what I did was I downloaded the template first. I saved a bunch of templates. So now I can import that template any different way I want to. That way I ain't got to rent. Now you can manually type the name and number in. You can manually do that all day long. But I don't have to now because I have 80 different names with different ages that I can just click and choose and load in here to give a quote. Guys, when I say the system is designed to really give us everything we need, but we got to utilize the system to our advantage to really help us show people how simple this is, especially from a business perspective. And that's where I wanted to spend most of my time talking about the business side, because the quotes for individuals are easy. You put the date of birth, number of people, and it shows what it is. But you got to have that conversation to make them see the value in it. That's really what it boils down to. Does that help you, Rashad?
Absolutely. And the reason why I asked that is So I was going to go through my employer, right? And I found out that I think you can. I don't know if you know about this, that you can. They have to submit a document to your employer, and they can like deduct it straight out your pay or something like that, like how it's normally done as a insurance company. So I was talking to because I had got a quote just for myself.
Mhm.
I probably should have went this way because if I knew this way, then I probably would have done it that way. But
But
so that's what I did. So that's why I was
yeah,
trying to question that.
so is your employer saying, hey, if you get it on your own, we'll give you a stipend back for something like that? Is that what they're
Yeah.
saying?
So they basically what they're saying is that if I get impact through them, I just it'll basically come out of my check like yeah like a stipend. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So there are multiple different ways depending on how your employer wants to do it across. If they want to pay for it or they want to pull it out of your check, vice versa. But again, if you're doing it, if you're going to be the one paying for it versus coming out of your check, this is Pat's advice to every single person on here. Just sign up directly from yourself and opt out of whatever the employee was going to give the reason why I say that is you now control it without having to worry about them pulling money out of your check back and forth. You set it up, you pay it, and you set it up on your terms to pay it. Because when you set up Impact, for those that have set up their Impact account, you decide when you want your share amount to be drafted from your bank account. You pick the date. You can also contact them and move that date if you need to. All right. There's a couple of different options you have. Impact is probably one of the most lenient, easy to use resources that I've ever seen when it comes down to it. I'm telling you, even if you get a medical bill with Impact and you cannot afford to pay for it, they have this thing called Extra Impact that they're helping people pay their bills with outside of sharing. So let's just say my bill isn't eligible to be shared, but they know I'm having financial hardship. I fill an application out in Extra Impact, this pool of money. Remember that seasoning salt that we were buying? I got 5 bottles up here in my cabinet at $10 a bottle. So I put an extra $50 in the pot. That money goes to help people that can't pay their bills outside of sharing. What other company you know that does? Guys, if you understand everything that Impact offers, we cannot be touched by anybody else. Nobody can touch us. So what other questions are out there that just like what do you guys, I guess what I'm gonna ask is, let me ask a question. What are you running into to make you not be able to talk about Impact the way it needs to be?
Hey Pat, I would say when I give people a quote, what scares them sometimes is that PRA rate. Like when they see that the amount that's right there. It's been kind of difficult to like explain that.
Okay. So if they're already paying for insurance, if they're already paying for healthcare, and here's what I'm finding out, and you guys are probably finding the same thing, and Devon, this should help you. Most people have no idea what their current deductible is. Most people don't know what their co-share amount is. Most people have never looked at their own explanation of benefits, their EOB. All right. I didn't know what an EOB was until I started really digging deep into Impact. So I'm telling you, people do not know. Remember when we used to talk about electricity bills and getting people to read their electricity bills? They didn't know what they just paid it. They're just the money's just coming out. They just show up to the doctor with the hopes that they're going to get treated. That's what they're doing right now. So we're so transparent, just like we were with Zoom Energy. We're so transparent that people are seeing stuff that they've never seen before and it's scaring them. What you have to tell them is, it's what you're already doing now. No, I'm not. Well, you have a deductible. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You just don't know what it is. So I try not to be combative with them. I say, but let me look at everything it's costing you. I said, so when you go to the doctor, do you pay any money? Well, yeah, I pay my doctor's visit stuff. I said, that's part of your deductible. I said, have you ever received a medical bill from the doctor? Yeah, sometimes I'll get a bill from the doctor, but it won't be the whole amount. I said, yeah, because that's part of your deductible. I said, that's part of your deductible. That's part of your copay. I said, we call it co-share and PRA. It's the same thing. I said, so now let's find this policy of yours. They'll dig the policy out. And really, you got to kind of coach them through it. You got to coax them through it, not coach them. You got to like, let me see what you're really paying for. And if we can get people to take the blinders off and they really see what they're paying for, impact automatically becomes a no-brainer. Because on average, they're paying about $4,500 to $5,000 deductible in network, 10 to 20,000 out of network. Well, we just eliminated the in network, out of network issue. And most of the time we're quoting them at 2,500 anyway, at the lowest cost. So does that kind of help?
Yes, yes. And those who don't understand what in-network and out-of-network is, in-network means the doctors you're allowed to go to when you have healthcare. Out-of-networks, if you need like a specialist in impact, you can pick any doctor you want.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want you guys to think of in-network and out-of-network like this. So this book would be the providers nationwide. Are the providers, all the medical providers in your area. You're partnered with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Blue Cross Blue Shield says, this is where you can go. Anything outside of this box right here, you got to pay extra. You can go, but we're not covering you at the negotiated rate. You got to pay extra. So that's your in-network, out-of-network. Well, with Impact, we not only got rid of the network in your area, we just opened it up to the whole nation. So your network got bigger because there is no limitation across the board. And that's really what it boils down to. I know if you, I saw the breakout rooms pop up, Devon. I don't know if you want me to
Oh, no, that was
postpone.
from earlier. I was just
Okay.
closing. But I saw Lamar and Saleha hand went up. You guys still have those questions?
Yep.
You want to go first, or can I go? Okay, cool. So, you talked about this a little bit. You said that like it depends on your provider whether or not they give you a stipend or if they give you like money for having different healthcare. Do you like? Is there like a website you can go to find that information, or do you have to just go by each provider and ask them how they do it?
So this is when I say provider, this is your job. All right.
Yeah, the job.
So your job, your job should tell you when you're if they're, let's say any employer that has 50 or more employees has to provide you the minimum essential coverage. We call it MEC. They have to provide you that minimum coverage. All right. You don't have to accept what they're providing you. You can always opt out. All right. So a lot of them, when they're providing the minimum coverage, they're not paying 100% of it. That money is coming out of your paycheck. Well, when you opt out, you're actually saving your job money. So if I don't take your health care, if I don't take Miss Shirley's health care that she's giving me, I'm picking on Miss Shirley because I see you in the camera there. I see, yeah, that's right, Miss Shirley. I ain't taking your health care. So if I don't take Miss Shirley's health care, Miss Shirley she's glad I didn't take it. She offered it. I didn't take it, but now she doesn't have to pay for it. Well, in most cases, the rate is so high for the employee, for the employer, that they're happy you don't take it. They're willing to give you, the average I've been seeing is when you opt out of healthcare, you get a $200 stipend to help you go buy it yourself. That's what I've normally seen. But again, it's case by case dependent on the employer. Does that help? Did I lose it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it helps. Is this being recorded or no?
Yes, it'll be on our Facebook page.
All right, thank you. Because my internet's not good where I'm at. Sorry.
Okay. All right, got it. But like I said, any questions? Like I said, I can definitely get back on later and kind of walk through that too, Devon. That's no problem.
So
Miss
Pat,
Selena?
on that, what you share with Lamar, so would the individual need to ask their job about that?
I would ask the HR. I would say,
Okay.
hey, look, hey, I'm actually not thinking about taking the health care. If I don't, do I get something back?
Okay.
I would ask it similar to that. Because I started really asking the employees, what happens if they don't take it? They say, well, we got to pay out of pocket. And then that's when I started finding out that, oh, there's a clause in my contract that says if I don't take it, I get $250. But you're telling me it's only going to cost me $150 because I've never gone to the doctor anyway. So they're paying for it for free for me anyway. I'm like, there you go. So it really just depends on the employer. Ms. Johnson?
So I had a question in reference to, so the PRA is like a deductible basically.
Mm-hmm.
So what I run into is when people say, oh, it's impact house sharing, meaning I'm sharing other people's bills and I'm taking on their monthly responsibilities.
And the
Could you
answer is
clarify
no.
when people
Okay.
assume that?
Okay. So the answer is no, you're not taking on anybody's responsibilities. What you're doing is you're paying your share amount every month. Let's say it's mine is 150. So no, Pat, you don't pay anybody's stuff. You pay $150 for your stuff. But that $150 you pay goes into an account that Impact will use to help pay somebody else's bill when it's needed. They may say, well, I don't understand. I'll say, well, let me show it to you. Right. So what I'll do is this is where it becomes so critical to having access to someone that has access to the portal. All right. So when you go to the portal and you look at it across the board, when you go to Impact, let's see here. Let me just go to Impact Health Sharing. Should be able to click on group quote. Let me close these quotes out real quick. Close some of these pages. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what it looks like here. All right. So when I go into my portal, I'm actually going to log in as a member. Let me move this out of the way. So when I do member login, this is how I've been able to really show people how impact sharing actually works. So it takes all of that off today. So have you guys seen this before? Have you guys been able to log in? For those that have it, routinely log in because you can get more out of impact than just this. So when you talk about my sharing, I can go to my dashboard. All right. And this is going to tell you everything that I have put in. So in my personal account with Impact, I have $408. All right. I pay $150 a month. Now it will also tell you, if you guys can see here, who was helped by me and how much they took out of my account to help them. So this, VTOC household, $51 came in. The McKiernan household, $51. The Burns household, $12.10. The Sparks household, $38. All right. So over time, each time that somebody had to be helped, this is all it is. So I'm not responsible for that person's bill. I'm responsible for paying my $150 on a monthly basis that I'm required to pay to be a member that helps me. And Impact says, we're going to use this to help this person. So they take the balance of the account. So, well, I don't understand. Well, let me show it to you from a community perspective, the entire community. So the entire community, there's over $19 million sitting in there across the board. And when we look at it here, it will tell you that, and this is good for providers too. So if you're talking to providers that don't understand it, say, look, we're paying providers in 19 days, first and foremost. But second off, Impact paid $70,000 to the Warner household. Now, Pat little $50 didn't go to none of that. Because notice the Warner household wasn't on my portal. So my little 50 wasn't to help them. So some other people helped them. But we're still using the oldest money. There's over $2 million set aside, 788 bills, but we ain't even touched the money that we need. That's what makes Impact so great.
Thank you. And to expand upon this, one more question. Sorry, Ms. Yvette. So if someone is in need of help, this is where they go, I guess, to request it, I'm assuming?
So if I was in need of help, let's just say I had my medical bills. So my bills are going to say no. So I don't have any medical bills. All right. Because number one, I use telehealth and everything else. So I don't have any bills that need processing. So if I needed a bill that had processing here, it would show that dollar amount that I'm paying, all right? Because all bills are paid by Impact. You don't pay the provider directly. You pay your portion when you get there, same as everybody else. The bill goes to Impact. Impact negotiates that bill on your behalf, and they post your portion here. You click here, you click payment, you pay your bill. That's it. If you cannot pay your bill, I want to say there was a tab that would pop up talking about, I need help. And that's where you went in to request the extra Impact, that you cannot pay this medical bill that's due. You need help. And there's a form that you fill out to be able to get that.
Thank you so much.
So guys, this portal is crucial to helping people really understand, because here's what I know for a fact. You can't log into your insurance portal like this. Your insurance portal does not show any of the things that I'm able to show. They don't show your share stream. They don't show your account information. They don't show anything. You got to almost call, re-authenticate yourself, and hope that they would send you what you need, because they know you're probably looking at stuff you don't need. They don't want you to look at. And when people are taking medications, they will, Pat, I'm on this medication. I'm on this drug. I don't know if it's going to be right for me. I'll say, what are you taking? And I'll click right here, search it by name, and guaranteed every single time I've looked, we've been cheaper. We have been cheaper every single time. So this is where this piece is going to really help you overcome those extra objections that you guys are facing. Be like, I don't understand. Why am I paying somebody else's medical bill? And here's a conversation I had with, well, it's not about you paying somebody else's medical bill. What happens if you need help? You got thousands of people that are chipping in to pay your medical bill. And get people to really understand, don't look at it for what they're doing. Look at it for what other people are going to do for them in a time of need. So try to change. Again, we've got to shift the way people think. That's the key. Ms. Yvette?
Good evening, Mr. Pat. I know that mental health is a big concern and with a lot of people today. Is counseling part of all of this?
Yes, ma'am, it is. So if you look at, matter of fact, I got another presentation here. Let me show you guys something. Impact covers everything. And that's where it becomes holistic versus just a quick fix, an emergency this and emergency that. So when you look at it, let me share my screen again. And this is actually a part of your back office. This is a part of the Impact page. You can pull these flyers up. And if you look on this flyer, it specifically says, this is probably the easiest snapshot that you can use to talk about what Impact does for so many people. So as you look at it, it talks about the lifetime maximums, the event maximums, all that stuff. Your preventive checks are on here. Then it talks about how the prescriptions are done. But when you look right here and it talks about the mental health piece of it, let me go back to so it talks about qualifications. It talks about the PRA. So this is one snapshot across the board that has everything on one page. And then it talks about, okay, wellness preventive, yes. Mental health, yes. That's counseling. That's treatment. That's inpatient. That's everything associated with it is a part of it. So if your doctor is recommending counseling, or if you want to go to a mental health specialist, you can utilize Impact to do so. Where a lot of, again, I had a lady ask me today, says, well, we provide our employees 3 chiropractic visits a year. I said, well, we do 50 and it costs less. And she was blown away. She said, because most insurance companies don't do 50 or don't cover chiropractic. I said, we're not insurance. See, I get smart. Look, I'm not telling you to get smart with people, but your posture and what we have, you've got to be able to really see people people are trying to find a way not to like what this is. But if you really have the conversation and you really understand what we have our hands on, they can't help but like what this is, because we beat every single thing out there when it comes down to it. Ms. Lauren.
Yes, how you doing?
Hey.
My question was pretty much for like when you put the families on, like for my kid, like he has his father's insurance first, and then I guess, sometimes he can use mine, but they always reject mine because his father supposedly comes first with the birthday thing. Would I be able to, and not saying his father sucks, but sometimes they don't pay for prescriptions or something weird, and I got to pay out of pocket. I'm like, he has insurance. Why am I going through this? And my insurance won't pay because they'll decline it. Would this like somehow, I don't know, would it still help to pay for stuff like that?
This has no ties to what your insurance will or will not pay for. Don't care. The impact says we cover this, period. So you don't have to fight between which one is going to pay what, which one. Look, when it comes down to prescriptions, I will tell you, I can use the VA prescriptions, I can use TRICARE prescriptions, but I can click a button and get a prescription with impact and go to Walmart or CVS or any other pharmacy and pick it up with hardly no cost.
Awesome. Thank you. Now,
So when you're looking at this, don't look at it as, so let's just say you already have insurance, and this is for everybody that may already have insurance in place. This can be utilized as a secondary. It can be, meaning you file your insurance, and then anything left over, you contact Impact and say, hey, here's my insurance covered this. Here's what's left. How do I do this? And Impact will take care of the rest of it. That's really how it works. So it becomes like you have two things to take care of that one thing. Insurance companies fight amongst each other to see who's going to pay the biggest portion first. That's what insurance companies, because nobody wants to pay. They got to make money. So if I'm always paying, I can't make no money. That's the insurance industry that we're in. They're a for-profit industry, and that's what kind of messes things up for us when you look at it. But Miss Yvette, did I answer? I'm sorry, Lauren, I'm bouncing right. Did that answer your question when it came to the mental health side of the house?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much, Mr. Pat.
You're very welcome. But again, guys, you got to understand, impact is holistic. So when you look at anything that needs to be done outside of vision and dental, and if vision and dental are related to an accident, that's covered. If I get something stuck in my eye and have to go to the hospital, and that hospital has to send me to an optometrist to get it fixed, that's covered by impact. That's not a regular vision appointment. If something hits me in my mouth and knocks my teeth out and I need emergency surgery from an orthodontist or from an oral surgeon, that's covered through impact. You guys understand what I'm saying? But just going to the dentist is not. So, guys, it is, when I say holistic, it covers every single thing. And this sheet here at the top kind of goes back to what Ms. Richardson was talking about when we were talking about the PRAs and how it works and everything else. This is where you can take a look at to say, okay, here are your different choices. And the farther you go to the right side of the screen, the lower your monthly cost is going to be. And it even kind of summarizes it up to say, okay, if you're at 2,500, your max out of pocket, which includes your co-share, is going to be 7,500. It lays it out. If you move to the next category, it's going to be 10. The next one, 12,500. The next one, 15. Here's what's crazy. I had a young lady that signed her family up for the 10,000 PRA. She said, Pat, we don't go to the doctor. We're fairly healthy. I'm okay. But for the money I can save with this, I said, well, it's 15,000 out of pocket. She said, there's no problem because my current insurance is 25,000 out of pocket. She said, it's 25,000 out of pocket and it cost me 3 times as much. A lot of times what will happen is you'll look at these numbers and it looks high to you. Sometimes it look high, I'm like, man, that's a lot of money. But you don't know what people are paying for. You don't know what people really have and they're stuck with and they can't even go to the doctor. Because she said, we're going to use the free telemedicine. We're going to take the prescription options. We're going to take our free exams every single year that I never have to worry about again. And we're just going to pray that nothing ever major happens. But if it does, I know the worst it's going to cost me is this now. That put a lot of things in perspective for me when I'm hearing a young lady that's taking care of her family and now she can afford to, and it's actually peaceful for her. See, I'm always trying to get people to go with the 2,500, but her monthly budget fit the 10,000. And again, every year, I'm a year of my impact right now. I got an email 60 days out asking me if I wanted to adjust my PRA. Very simple, because you can change it every year. I had a young lady ask me this question. What if I don't like it? I said, it's no contract. That's the other thing. See, unlike the insurance industry, when you get into it, you're stuck for a whole year. This is no contract, ladies and gentlemen. So I tell people, what do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. It's no contract. And it's fully refundable except for the $79 application fee. So let me paint this picture. You guys saw I have $400 left in my account. If I leave Impact today, guess who gets $400? That money comes back to me. Right. Your insurance company ain't giving you nothing back. So if I leave Impact today, whatever money is sitting in my account as a member, because I'm no longer a member, Impact gives that money back to me. The only thing I'm out of ever is the $79, which is non-refundable. That's it. Okay. So does this kind of sort of help you guys have a little bit more confidence? Because the intent for this is to give you the confidence and to give you some tools that you can have to have different level of conversation with people about impact. The billing volume, and I'm not even talking about that piece yet. The billing volume for impact outweighs anything that we have. Electricity, unless you got big business accounts, this crushes it. It completely crushes everything that's out there.
So Pat, talking
Mhm.
about like the ACN business owner side of it, since Impact, and you don't have to give the exact amount, but what would you say, roughly speaking, your billing volume, just a number, averaged out number, what was the increase since we've had Impact over the past, 2 years?
So my billing volume has probably gone up 30% with just impact. And I only got serious with it about 8 months ago. So within 8 months, my entire billing volume jumped at least 30% last year off of impact alone. Here's what I think is going to happen this year from talking to Presley and seeing what's happening now. I think my billing volume will double or triple this year just with this one service.
Wow. And to put that in perspective for you guys, if your billing volume, let's say, is about 10 grand, which most newly promoted RDs billing volume sits around, 10 to 20 grand. 3,000 is 30% of 10 grand. So imagine your billing volume increasing an extra 3,000 just off of a few impact customers.
Exactly.
So
Exactly, guys. I will tell you, I've been doing this for a while, and Miss Richardson can tell you guys, I have been so consistent in customer acquisition but because that's the cornerstone of ACN. Of course, you got to leverage yourself. You got to get people involved in it. But people will see how you're building your business from a customer basis because that's who pays us. All right. The better you can get at customer acquisition, and that's why we're having this conversation about impact, the better you can get at customer acquisition, you will never have to worry about your residual check. I will tell you, you will never have to worry about billing because your billing volume will stay consistent. When you focus on energy, you focus on impact, you focus on flash wireless, you focus on those lifetime services that ACN has to offer. Now, all the services are great, but when you focus on those lifetime services, it is a game changer. And ladies and gentlemen, Miss Richardson, RVP. I guarantee you, if we laid our billing out side by side, I'm a regional director. My structure, again, let's be very candid about this. I've been in longer than Miss Richardson. My structure is whack. All right. I had to redo my business. And again, if you stay in ACN long enough, you're going to have to restructure and rebuild your business. So the compensation plan dictates how we build our business. Well, I'm in a rebuilding phase to build separate legs to leverage out my business. But I will tell you guys, my billing volume is almost $80,000 as a regional director. And it's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. So I said this year, I plan on my billing volume tripling. So I'm talking about having a minimum of $200,000+ in billing volume. And the majority of that being impact. Because I'm talking to all business owners right now. And we're talking about $100,000 bills over and over again that I'm reducing to $10,000, $7,000, $8,000. And that's how your billing volume is going to grow. Now, here's the other thing. When I talked about the no contract, and I'll leave with this or I'll open it up for any additional question. Impact has a 99% retention rate. 99%. Think about that for a second. So the young lady said, if I don't like it, and I told her, I said, you don't have to like it. It's no contract. But we have a 99% retention rate for people that get it. So if it's a lifetime service and you can get somebody one time, odds are they're going to stay with you for a lifetime. Okay. So Ms. Richardson, I'll turn it back to you again, guys. Any questions that you may have, definitely open it up.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Pat. So I see Rashad, your hand up.
Just want to say thank you. Actually, while we was on the call, I was doing a group quote just now for 20 employees, and that was crazy. The number that I got, it is ridiculous. And let me tell you something. My boss got something to on Monday. I'll tell you that right now.
Get it. Let's get it. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. That's
You
what's
gotta
up.
hurry up, because you know who else trying to get your boss.
I already know.
All right. Anyone else has any questions? All right. If we can, oh, go ahead, Missy Bat.
No, I didn't have any questions, but I just wanted to tell Mr. Pat, that's a phenomenal job you did today. Definitely opened up and answered a lot of questions, because I'll speak for myself that I've been leery about even talking about impact to anyone, but the information you provided with us to us tonight has really given me the confidence and some information. And I'm loving the fact that you created the account, all of that stuff. It was just great information. And I look forward to really utilizing your information. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you're very welcome. Guys, tell you, just do it. Just play around with it. Go in there, play around with it. The more you mess with your website, the more you mess with the tools that we have at our disposal, the easier it becomes to approach people about what this is, because you become extremely knowledgeable about the service. And I'm telling you, when you get the knowledge, it's hard to shake it off, especially when you know that people are being treated wrong by the insurance companies. I mean, it's crazy. So I don't want to take up much more of your time. I know we talked about 15, 20 minutes, but guys, I can still hear as long as you guys want me to, but I do not want to take away from the training that you guys are getting tonight. So I'm going to turn this back over to Miss Richardson in case you guys need anything else. Thank you, Devon.
Awesome,
Appreciate you
awesome.
having me.
You guys can unmute. Thank Pat one more time. He did this just out of the love. He didn't have